السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله، الحمد لله، والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد، أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. رب زدني علما. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا. أهلا وسهلا ومرحبا بكم. I welcome you all to the class of دروس اللغة العربية لغير الناطقين بها، ونحن في الجزء الثالث and we are in the third juz. الحمد لله رب العالمين. And last time we talked about all the stuff about al-i'rab wal-bina, and also we talked about منقوص and مقصور, right? ممنوع من الصرف and so on, right? So let's inshallah continue reading uh, reading let's continue inshallah reading the lesson one inshallah. علامات الإعراب الأصلية والفرعية, right? علامات الإعراب الأصلية والفرعية. So we started the lesson learning that al-ismu imma mu'arabun wa imma mabniun. Ism could be either be mu'arab or it could be mabni, right? This is what we learned. And mu'arab is what changes, and mabni is which does not change. And we learned that some of them, some types of mabni nouns, uh, الضمائر, نعم الضمائر، أسماء الإشارة، أسماء الموصولة، استفهام، بعض الظروف. All these are mabni nouns, yeah? All these things we write. So let's begin. Let's continue from where we left off. علامة الإعراب الأصلية والفرعية. So إعراب is what? The endings, right? So they could be primary endings, they could be secondary endings, like we learned last time, right? For example, for marfu, we learned that dhamma is the primary ending, but the one, wow, alif and nun, these are the three secondary endings. So that's what he'll say about far'iyya, they are called, right? Secondary endings. علامة الإعراب الأصلية في الاسم. So what is the أصلية? الضمة, ضمة, right? The ضمة وهي علامة الرفع. Right? ضمة is the علامة of being منسوب. علامة الرفع. الفتحة وهي علامة النصب. Right? So how do you know it's mansub? By looking at the fatha, generally speaking. But there are akyan, right? There's alif, there's kaf, sorry, kasra and ya and akyan, right? And there's noon also, presence and absence of noon. These are the other signs. And then kasra, wahi alamatul jar. Alamatul jar could also be fatha also, right? Kaif, kasra, ya, and a fatha, right? Generally. But these are the primary endings, right? Marfu with a dhamma, mansub with an fatha, and majru with a kasra. These are primary. وهناك علامات أخرى فرعية. But there are علامات أخرى. There are some other علامات. علامات is what? Signs, yeah? Signs. There are other signs فرعية, secondary ones. وهي في الأنواع الآتية في الأسماء. And he brings the different types of أنواع now of the nouns, right? وهي في الأنواع الآتية. نوع أنواع is the plural, and they are the follow. آتية is following, and it is in the following types from the nouns. Okay, these are the aina, man, mata, kaifa, mada. These are all questioning these things. So he gives first one, jam'u muannas salim. Right? Jam'u muannas salim, alamatu nasbi fihi al-kathratu. So this is something which are exceptions which are learning, right? The secondary endings, right? So mansub should be with a fatha. واضح? Now it is with a kasra now. With a kasra. نحو خلق الله السماوات والأرض. So this is مفعول به with a kasra. صحيح? So why is it kasra? Because it's jamma muannas salim. So how do you say this? خلق فعل ماضي مبني right? فعل ماضي, it is مبني. الله لفظ الجلالة فاعل مرفوع وعلامة رفعه ضمة ظاهرة, right? خلق الله. السماوات, we say it is منسوب, right? It is منسوب وعلامة نصبه كسرة ظاهرة. Why is it كسرة ظاهرة? It should have been فتحة. You say لأنه جمع مؤنث سالم مفعول به, right? So this is how it is, because it is جمع مؤنث سالم. والأرض, again, this is عطف معطوف. So Jama Muannas Salim, always remember, never takes a fatha, never. Why did they do that? Because you have to open your mouth twice. Khalaqallahu samawata. So it's like confusing, right, for Arabs. So they like totally deleted it. Khalaqallahu samawati wal arda. Allah created the heavens and the earth. Al mamnu' min as-sarf. Second is mamnu' min as-sarf. It never takes a kasra, never. Except if it takes alif lam, a mamnu min as-sarf takes it. Yeah, inshallah, we'll learn in the future. If a diptote word takes alif lam, then it becomes majroor. It becomes majroor. Second, if it becomes mudaf, right? If it becomes mudaf, if it is not mudaf, if it does not have alif lam, then it'll always be with a fatha, majroor with a fatha. So it says mamnu min as-sarf, alamatul jarri fihi al-fathatu, and the sign of being majroor is fatha. Nahu idhab ila fir'auna. See, ila came, kasra should come, but because it is mamnu min as-sarf, it became علامة جره فتحة ظاهرة لأنه ممنوع من الصرف. Right? It is fatha because it is diptote. Then al-asma'ul khamsa, the 5 nouns. These are again special nouns. وهي أبوك, أخوك, حموك, فوك, ذو مال. So أبوك, right? What is the sign of being marfu? The واو. علامة رفعه واو لأنه من الأسماء الخمسة. وهي أبوك. Wow is the sign. أخوك sign. حموك. Hamu is like in-law, father-in-law, something. Father-in-law, something. Hamun. Fuka means mouth. Fuka. It's actually famun, brother-in-law. Oh, okay, brother-in-law. Yeah. Alhamul mouth. There's a hadith, right? Brother-in-law. Correct. Naam. Alhamul mouth. Fuka is actually famun, and it becomes, you drop the meme. Okay, you can say famuka also, you can say fuka also. So fu fa fi. So instead of famun, faman, famin, you can drop the meme and say fu fa fi, like madha fi fika, what is in your mouth. Iftah faka, open your mouth, and so on. Iftah famaka is also fine. Iftah faka is also fine. Zu malin, zu zazi, owner of wealth or possessor of wealth. Zu zazi. So al-asma'ul khamsa, marfu with a waw, mansub with an alif, majru with a ya. But there are some conditions. First condition is for this asma'ul khamsa, it has to be a mudaf. If it is not mudaf, then it won't happen. Like abun, akhun, ja'a akhun, ja'a abun, it will take tanween. It has to be mudaf. It has to be mukabbar, it is called. It should not be small. Like I cannot say ukhay, ubay. Ubay means small father, kind of. Yeah, ukhay, small brother. I have to use akhu, abu. Okay. So it has to be mudaf. It has to be mukabbar. It has to be. It's obviously, right? So kullu al-alamati fiha far'iyyatun. So in the 5 nouns, everything is far'iyya. So marfu, mansub, and majroor, never you will see fatha, dhamma, kasra. Never. You will look for a waw, an alif, and a ya. Like, for example, alamatul raf'i al-waw. Right? Alamatul raf'a, it is waw. Nahu, aja'a abuka. See? So what is the what is the sign of being marfu? Wow. Did your father come? Alamatul nasbil alif. So mansub, how do you know it's mansub? You look at the alif. Arifu abaka. I know your father. So abaka, mansub with an alif. And we talked about all this, alhamdulillah, in book 2 a lot. Alamatul, but it's giving it now. Alamatul jarri Al yaw, right? The sign of being majrur is a ya. Right? It is ya. This is not my father. No, no. Aina sayyaratu abika. Where is the car of your father? This ya came because mudaf mudaf ilayh. Right? I hope it is clear. Lesson one is little daunting, so please don't get intimidated, right, by this lesson. Slowly, slowly, you will understand many things. Yeah, inshallah. This is how book three is. I'm trying to simplify as much as possible now. تعرب الأسماء الخمسة. Uh, anyways, we learned this, right? Alhamdulillah. الأسماء الخمسة are made معرب بهذه العلامات by these three: واو ألف يا واي. by واو ألف يا. إذا كانت مضافة إلى غير يا متكلم. One another condition is it should not be مضاف to يا متكلم, because if I say جاء أبي رأيت أبي أعرف أبي, you'll never get to know, right? مقدرة 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 all the time, right? We learn because ya mutakallim, it forces everything to become abi abi abi. So you'll say, where is marfu? Where is it marfu? Ja abi, a file should be marfu. We say dammatun muqaddara. It is estimated بحركة مناسبة. منع من ظهورها حركة مناسبة. وإلا عربت, uh, or if it is with ya mutakallim, it will become mu'arab, right? إذا كان مضافة إلى, so he says تعرب so الأسماء الخمسة is becomes معرب بهذه العلامات إذا كان مضافة إلى غير يا متكلم, right? It will become with these three if it is not with يا متكلم. وإلا عربت بالعلامة الأصلية. If it is not a مضاف, you just put it like this, it will become أصلية ضمة فتح كسرة كم, like لي أخن. So you might ask, where is the wow? No, the wow is not there over here because it is not mudaf. Right? It should be akhuka, akhu hamidin, something. Li akhun, normal. Sa'altu akhan, mansub bitan, fathatun zahira. Anta akhin, you are like my brother. This is all about Asma'ul Khamsa. Okay? Asma'ul Khamsa. It should not be mudaf mudaf alayh. I mean, it should be mudaf mudaf alayh, but not to ya mutakallim. If it is not mudaf and mudaf ilayh, then it will become normal. Akhun, akhan, akhin. Which line? This line, yeah. تعرب الأسماء الخمسة. أسماء الخمسة are معرب with these nouns. Yeah, they take these endings بهذه العلامات, with these endings, these signs. إذا كانت مضافة إلى غير يا متكلم. If it is مضاف not to يا متكلم, يعني other than يا متكلم. وإلا عربت, or else it is عربت. We give them علامات بعلامة الأصلية. We give them أصلية. نحو لي أخن. See, مرفوع فتحة ضمة ظاهرة. سألت أخا منصوب فتحة ظاهرة. أنت كأخ مجرور with كسرة ظاهرة. Okay. Now. All right. Next we have جمع مذكر السالم. Okay. So first was what? عربت is it takes إعراب. It is مجهول. أعرب يعرب أعربت from 4. It is majhul. عربت. We'll learn in lesson 2 inshallah. مجهول. الفعل لم يسمى فاعله is also part. Fail whose file is not mentioned. Like فعل pattern will be قتل, he was killed. Okay. Then we have, so what are we learning? Secondary endings, where it will come. Right? This is a because we might lose track of what we are learning. Where shall secondary ending come? Jama Muannas Salim never takes a fatha. So mansub always has a kasra. Only that. Then mamnu min asaf never takes a kasra. Right? So that is because of it is dipped out. So it takes fatha for majroor also. Third, asmaul khamsa, it never takes asliya at all if it is mudaf. So wow, alif and ya. Next we have jama muzakkar salim. This also never takes fatha dhamma kasra. We look at una and ina, right? Wow and a ya. Kullu al-alamati fihi far'iyya. All the three are far'iyya, secondary endings. Right? It is secondary ending. All the three. All the three are secondary endings. وهي علامة الرفع الواو. So how does it become مرفوع? Then مسلمون, it's a wow, right? دخل المدرسون. Wow is the sign of being مرفوع. What is this known? Known as عوض عن التنوين. This is substitute for tanween. And we learn that when this becomes mudaf, the noon drops. Inshallah. Like tanween drops, similarly the noon drops. علامة النصب الياء. What's the alama of nasb? Muslimuna becomes muslimina, muslimina. Saltul mudarrisina. See, alamatul nasb. It is mansub with what? Yeah. Right? Very easy. Alamatul jarri al yaw. Jar also with a ya. Ina, ina. Hadihi ghulfatul mudarrisina. Al musanna duals. Kullu alamati. Again in ani and aini. Right? Ani, aini, aini. Kullu alamati fihi far'iyya. Everything here is far'iyya. علامة الرفع الألف, right? مرفوع with an alif. آني. نحو غاب طالبان, 2 students were absent. علامة النصب الياء. نحو طلب المدير طالبين, the principal requested for the for the 2 students, for 2 students طالبين. So آني مرفوع with an alif, منصوب بتا ياء. علامة الجر الياء. نحو هذه الغرفة للطالبين. للطالبين. This is the room of the 2 students. Right, so everything here is secondary endings. So what one jama muannas salim, diptotes, ghair munsarif, mamnu min as-sarf, that is. Third, jama muzakkar salim, una, ina, and duals, and one more, right? And asmaul khamsa, of course. This was all about secondary endings. So 5 of them take secondary endings. Anything else take secondary? No, right? We have 2 plurals, Muzakkar Salim, Muannas Salim, 1 dual. This is the third, Asmaul Khamsa, number 4. And the 5th one is? What is the 5th one? The 2 duals. Mamnu min as-sarf, diptotes. Okay. So 2 duals, 1 dual, 2 plurals, 1 dual, 1 diptote, and 1 Asmaul Khamsa. That's it. These are the secondary endings. Rest all you'll see primary endings. I mean, rest all in the sense a singular word, a broken plural, 5 in your pocket verbs. These 3 will take primary. Fatha, Dhamma, Kasra is what you will see. Then we have Taqdiri, which we talked about last time. Al-i'rab al-taqdiri. What is Taqdiri? It is similar to Mabni, but it is not Mabni. It's like we have to estimate the i'rab, right? So what is taqdiri? Estimation, yeah, taqdiri. قدر يقدر تقديري. لا تظهر علامات الإعراب. It is not apparent. It is not clear. It does not show علامات الإعراب, the signs of إعراب, right? في ثلاثة أنواع من الأسماء. So 3 types you cannot see. فتقدر فيها العلامات. So you imagine them, right? They are estimated العلامات. وهذه الأنواع هي, and these 3 types are المقصور. Right? First one is مقصور. What is مقصور? مقصور is هو الاسم المعرب. It's a معرب noun. It acts like a مبني, okay, but still in معرب. الذي آخره ألف لازمة. At the ending it is alif lazima, or alif, it could be either alif, proper alif, or it could be alif مقصورة. نحو المستشفى. So like دخلت في المستشفى, you can say, why is not getting mustashfai, right? It will not happen because it's ending with an alif, and Arabs did not like, to au, ai, and so on. We have au, but that is for feminine. But generally they don't like all these things to give Arab for that, give tanween also to that. Tanween is there, but always with a fatha. Mustashfan, fatan, right? Always with a fatha. Okay. So al-mustashfa, al-fata, al-asa. If you remove the alif lam, it will be mustashfan, fatan, asan. There also it is assumed. Assumed. Okay. So first one is maqsur. What is maqsur? Alif maqsura, or normal alif also, like asa. So what you'll say? تقدر في, in this everything is assumed, everything in مقصور. تقدر فيه, قدر يقدر تقدر فيه العلامات الثلاث. In this three, all the three are estimated, right, are assumed. نحو قتل الفتى, see, العفا بالعصا. So the young man killed the snake. Snake, yeah, afa is snake. The viper, afa is a viper or something. Bil asa, with stick. Right. Now, if, for instance, it is qatala Musa Isa bil asa. So can you tell me who killed whom? Qatala Musa Isa bil asa. Who killed whom? Can you tell me? Yeah, we can't know, of course. Yes, we can't know. Here it is clear because snake cannot kill the man. Yes, they don't have endings. That's the problem, right? They don't have endings. Yes, you can't know. Did Musa kill Isa or did Isa kill Musa? That is why for it's called taqdeemul fi'l wal maf'ul. Okay, you put the maf'ul first or taqdeem second. So when there's a confusion like this, it is not allowed for us to bring the maf'ul bihi first. No, it's not allowed because it's so confusing. How will you know Musa killed Isa or Isa killed Musa? For example, if I change it, for example, qatala Zaydun Amran, there it is clear. If I put Amran also first, it is clear. Qatala Amran Zaydun. All right. If even if I do that, it's fine. You get to know that Zayd killed Amr. Right. So if you cannot know in Musa Isa because they don't have endings. Okay. So there, in that situation, you cannot bring Isa first. No, the maful is not allowed because it's so confusing. How it's a rule in that. Yeah, we learn in. I learned this rule in. It's a rare rule. It's like hypothesis because okay, it's a rare rule. It comes in Hidayatun now. I learned that rule. I was like smarter. But generally we can. It's called taqdeem. He brings in madfuat. He says when to bring the first and second, is it allowed and when it is allowed. And there are various other conditions also, which I don't remember now. He brings those rules. I'm like, it's cool, yeah? So here it's clear that the man killed the snake with the stick. So al-fata, how do you do the i'rab of fata? He says, تقول في إعراب هذه الكلمات, you say of these kalimat, of these i'rab, al-fata, fa'ilun, it is fa'il, marfu'un, marfu'. But how is it marfu'? Alamatu raf'i, its sign of being marfu' is what? Dammatun muqaddara. You just imagine with your mind, huh? Dammatun muqaddara. It's marfu' how? You just leave it. It's alhamdulillah taqdir, right? It's just assumption. Al-af'a, it is maf'ulun bihi mansubun. It is mansub. But the snake, alamatu nasbihi fathatun muqaddara. The sign of being mansub is what? Fathatun muqaddara. Similarly, this is jar majrur. Right? Al-asa majrurun bi al-ba. It is because majrur because of ba. Alamatu jarrihi kasratun muqaddara. He says, إذا, there's a footnote, إذا نون المقصور حذفت الألف في النطق لالتقاء الساكنين. Right? So if نون المقصور, if you add a tanween to this maqsoor, the alif is dropped. Alif is dropped while speaking. While speaking, you say fatan because of two sukuns are coming. So it was actually fatayun. So fatan, it becomes fatan. وحينئذ تقدر العلامات على الألف المحذوفة. So it is the alamat is estimated on the alif which is dropped, right? Which is not pronounced maybe محذوفة. نحو اتصل مصطفى بفتى ضحى. So it's like Mustafa contacted a boy in the morning, duhan. So everything will have fata, fata, fata. It is also like mabni. Right? If you remove the tanween, it will be always fatan, fatan, fatan. So here it should be fatin, No, because B came with fatan, and duhan is the time anyways. So it is mansub wa alamatu. So we'll say alamatu nasbihi for duhan because it is zarf, right? You say علامة نصبه فتحة مقدرة على ألف المحذوفة on the alif which is dropped, not dropped, which is not which gets a sukun. Anyways, all these are anyways. First lesson, aim for inshallah 30 to 40% of comprehension, or maybe less than that. Okay, because many things you'll understand later on. Uh, and other the next lessons and so on are not like this. It's not just a whole lecture kind of. Yeah, he's giving a whole article right on these things, because other lectures are like normal which we learned before. We'll have a dialogue and then that and that, and then we'll have exercises also. In this we don't have exercises, right? So all this is just a, he's trying to teach us all this. And then we have manqus. Manqus is not totally, when it is mansub the fatha is zahir. Well, ismul mu'arab. So what is maqsood? People get confused with maqsood and manqus. Yeah, so try to remember. Maqsood means alif maqsooda. Manqus means with a ya'un lazima. He says that, right? Well, ismul mu'arab, it is a mu'arab ism. It's not mabni. Okay, don't think that is mabni. No, no. Alladhi akhiru ya lazima maqsurun ma qablaha, right? It is ya, but the previous letter should also be kasra. Nahwa al-qadi, because aini it will become duals. No, if previous letter is fatha, it will become duals. Babaini. So he says no. The previous letter also has a kasra and it has a ya, right? Ya lazima. Al-muhami, al-sani, al-madi, al-wadi, al-ma'ani. Right? Qadi is the judge. Al-muhami is the lawyer. Al-thani is second. Ya lazima is a, it's not a complete yeah is what I mean. It's a perfect yeah. Lazim is established yeah. It's not the yeah like duals, right? Aini and so on, and does not drop generally unless alif lam goes, then it drops, right? It's a yeah lazima. I don't know of any other yeah, but alif lazima, ya lazima. That's what he says. It's just yeah, I believe. Allah. Because I don't know of any other ya. It's called ya. Ya ul musanna. All these are ya lazima, right? Qadi has a ya lazima. It's a proper ya. It's not anything else. Muhami, it's a proper ya. Sani, proper ya. Al madi, al wadi. It's not ya mutakallim, right? It's not ya mutakallim. That's what he means maybe, right? It's not ya or any other ya. It's a proper ya, part of the word, right? Part of the word. Now, it's not ya mutakallim or any other dual ya, aini. No, this is a proper ya, which is a part of the word. Because many people might get confused. Qadi means my judge. So what do you say for my judge? It's the same, but it does not have alif lam. Okay, but sometimes they do. They make it mansub also. From what I remember, qadiyya. They two yas they join and say qadiyya. I think Allahu alam. From what I yeah put a tasdeed, yes. From what I remember, right? Allahu alam. I'm a little confused about that. Okay. Anyways, from what I remember, Allahu alam. I think they put tasdeed. Yeah, my judge. تقدر فيه الضمة والكسرة. So in dhamma and kasra is estimated. So when it is marfu and majroor, it is, you imagine it. وتظهر فيه الفتحة. But the fatha comes because fatha is not, that's why it's called siqal. Fatha is easier to say. Al-qadiyya. But qadiyi, qadiyu is difficult. So they dropped it. سأل القاضي المحامي عن الجاني. See, he gives a whole example. So what is the i'rab of this? Al-Qadi, he says, i'rab تقول في إعراب هذه الكلمة. So the judge asked the lawyer about the criminal. Jani is the criminal. تقول في إعراب هذه الكلمة. What do you say about this? Al-Qadi. What is Qadi? It is fa'ilun, marfu'un. It is fa'il, it's marfu. But what is the sign of being marfu? وعلامة رفعه ضمة مقدرة. It's estimated, yeah? You assume it. خلاص. المحامية, here the mansub it shows. مفعول به منصوب علامة نصبه فتحة ظاهرة. Right? It is مفعول به منصوب. It is mansub. And it is علامة نصبه فتحة ظاهرة. It is fatha ظاهرة. Right? You see the fatha. You see the fatha, right? It's very clear. الجاني عن الجاني مجرور بعن. It is مجرور because of عن. علامة جره كسرة مقدرة. Right? And it's مجرور because of كسرة مقدرة. وقد يكون المنقوص محذوف الياء. But if the alif lam goes, we learned in book 2, I talked about it in book 2 also. If the alif lam runs away, the ya also runs away. Right? So ذهب قاد إلى محامٍ. Like in manqus, it was fatan, mustashfan, duhan. Here it will be qadin, muhamin, muhamin. Okay, muhamin. So zahaba qadin ila muhamin. So you say, why is it kasra? Very confusing. Right? Why is it two tanween coming here, boss? So we'll say this is manqus. This is like mabni. Okay, this is like mabni, but alif lam went away, so the ya also went away, and the ya gave a tanween. While running away, it gave a tanween to this qadin. So he says, number one, tasbutu ya'ul manqus fi salasi halatin. The ya of the manqus remains in three cases. One, an yakuna mansuban. If you make it mansub, the ya comes back, even if it is nakira. Right? Nahu sa'altu qadiyan. See, ya came back because mansub is like fine. Right? An yakuna muhalla bi alif lam. And if it is decorated, muhalla means decorated with alif and lam. So we learn al-qadi, it comes back. Right? Alif lam comes, or it is mansub, it comes back. An yakuna mudafan, it also comes back when it is mudaf. Hada qadi makkata. This is the judge of Makkah. Okay, so there's various rules. Please don't get disheartened. I keep telling this because people expect book 3 to be like book 2, and they come with that same mindset, and that is why they quit in book 3. No, please don't. There are lot of things to learn and a lot of things to remember. Try how much is possible, yeah, but keep going. Right? By the book ends, inshallah, you'll understand maybe 30-40%, but that is, you'll get a whole picture of what is there in book 3. Yeah. We need to change the mindset that everything cannot be conquered. Yeah, inshallah, we'll go through this many times, inshallah. Yeah, inshallah. It is easy, it's not that difficult, inshallah. It's just overwhelming because there's a lot of things coming. In every lesson, he'll bring like 10-20 rules, right? Like when min zaida is used and this and that. No need to learn anything. In book 3, don't try to learn anything. Don't try to learn vocabulary. Don't try to learn rules. Don't try to do anything. Just try to finish this book, is what I'm telling in the first go. No, never learn anything. Just try to understand what is there little bit and just move forward. Right? Not even vocabulary. I'm not saying, because inshallah, they're like 50-60 words. You see the vocabulary book, we have this book, right? Vocabulary, 60 words he brings in book 3. Okay. And the fact of the matter is, other books are like these, right? He prepared us in book 1 and book 2 for this book. Other Arabic books like Arabia by Nadek, this is how it is. You have so many words to memorize, like 16 units, so many verbs. And after finishing even book 1, you won't have much knowledge about verbs and so on, unless a person teaches. Right? So Sheikh Abdul Rahim criticizes those books very Arabia by Nadek a lot. Right? He says in the first lesson itself he brings diptot. Right? Ana min Pakistana. How dare he brings diptot? He says, right? He said in the video, right, in the class. So because even I feel, but people learn without knowing stuff, right, in those books. Well, alhamdulillah, those are beautiful books. But I feel to take a person to the next level, these books are required. And it happens, a person leaves, quits book 3, and after 2 years he comes back to these books and remembering that this is the best book for grammar or for whatever. And please don't be that student, whoever's watching also, of quitting book 3 going to some other books and going round and round and round and coming back to this book again, right? Finish this book and think about, there might be other better books. I'm not saying no, right? But this is from shaitan. You keep skipping books. Oh, book 3, someone says no, Ibn Saud books are good. Someone says Al-Biya Bainadek is good. Someone says this is good. Take one book and stick to it, please. um, he spends 2 years skipping books, but in those 2 years people learn these 3 books and their level is something else, right? I've seen so many students who are like skipping books all the time. Allah musta'an. Okay, تقول في إعراب هاتين الكلمتين. Someone says Ajrumia is good, so they go to Ajrumia and then they hit their heads over there. Take one book, stick to it, right? Take one book. It's like breathing. You don't you have to do it somehow or the other. Learning Arabic should be like that. What The more options you have, the more lazy you become. Look at the scholars, yeah. Scholars didn't have those many options. Whatever sheikh, whatever he was teaching, that only they had to teach, right? Think that this is the only option you have. This is the only book, or whatever book you choose. I'm not saying choose this book and yeah, whatever. Think that this is the only book I'll learn and try to do it properly, right? Because the internet and because of those, we have so many options, so people have become so lazy, right? The Sahaba used to go only for one hadith, right? So long, because one hadith had so much value. We have thousands of hadiths, but still are not learning them or reading them. They wrote hadiths, eh? No. Okay, sorry. تقول في عرب هاتين الكلمتين. So what you'll say for these things? قادٍ إلى محمد. قادٍ is file مرفوع. It is file مرفوع. علامة رفعه ضمة مقدرة. Right? Again, it is ضمة مقدرة على الياء المحذوفة. And we say it's on ya محذوفة. So is it on dad? No, it's not on dad. Right? It's ya which ran away, which was deleted. So it was estimated ya on the ya which ran away, estimated dhamma on the ya which ran away. Right? Qadin. Then Muhammad majrurun bi ila. So Muhammad, see ila Muhammad. So you might say, boss, majrur with a kasra. We see the kasra. Then we say, no, even if you remove the ila, it will always Muhammad, Muhammad, Muhammad. Except when it's mansub, it's Muhammiyan. But marfu and majrur, it's Muhammad. So it is dhammatun kasratun muqaddara. So majrurun bi ila alamatu jarrihi. A person might say it's kasra. We can see the kasra. No, no. Kasratun muqaddara ala ya al mahzufa. It is on the deleted ya, right? Deleted ya, which was deleted. And then third is ya mutakallim. We talked all about this last time, right? Inshallah, we need a lot of practice for these things, anyways. Ultimately, learning this lesson helps you to identify if it is marfu, how it is marfu. If it is mansub, how it is mansub. If it is majrur, how it is majrur. You identify. Or you might be confused. Muhammin, why is it Muhammin? Right? Why is it kasra? You might get confused because baitun has dhamma, tanween. Muhammin is always Muhammin except when mansub, of course. So you might get confused. So this helps you clarify all the different types of words you find in the Arabic language. Next, nahu zamili, zamili, ya mutakallim, again, all are muqaddara because it was actually zamilai, zamilui, zamili. تقدر فيه العلامات الثلاث, all the three علامات are made مقدر. نحو دعا جدي أستاذي مع زملائي. So my grandfather called my teacher with his colleagues or the class stars, right? So colleagues. So may say Jaddi. So who called? You might get a question. Did my grandfather called my sir, or my the sir called my grandfather? Because file should come first in these confusing cases. You might get confused. Oh, my teacher called my grandfather with his classmates. Okay, because the teacher is also old, so they had an alumni meeting or something. Yeah, so you can get confused. So you bring the file first. My grandfather called my teacher, right, with his classmates. So he called, my grandfather gave a party to all these people. So what do you say? Jaddi, it's marfu. Fa'ilun. تقول في إعراب هذه الكلمات جدي. فاعل مرفوع. So only for جدي. يا متكلم is anyways مضاف إليه. علامة رفعه ضمة مقدرة. It is ضمة مقدرة. ضمة which is estimated. يا متكلم. أستاذي مفعول به منصوب. It is أستاذي علامة نصبه because it's maf'ulun bihi, right? Fathatun muqaddara. It is fatha muqaddara. Zumala'i, again zumala'i, ya mutakallim again. So how do you say mudaf ilayhi majroor? It is mudaf ilayhi, right? Ma'a zumala'i. Alamatu jarri kasratun muqaddara. It is muqaddara. So everything is muqaddar except one in this thing, in these three. That is manqus with a ya, mansub. So al qadiya. Except that everything is like mabni. They're like fix, 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 fix. But we don't say it's mabni because. So he gives the whole table, and this table helps us to give a whole picture of all the different types of words. علامة الإعراب الأصلية والفرعية في الاسم. These are only nouns. These are only nouns he's giving, because in those again it's you look at the noon and so on. الحالة الإعرابية المرفوع. So he says العامل. عامل is the verb or something, yeah, which changes. جاء. الاسم ذو علامات الإعراب الأصلية. So this is the noun which has primary endings to it. Noun which has علامات الإعراب الأصلية. أصلية إعراب. الأبناء. So you might ask the question, okay, it is file. So how is it marfu? Dhamma. Really? Yes. Dhamma. We can see the dhamma. Fathatun. Sorry. Dhammatun zahira. We can see the dhamma. Khalas. Okay. Wal banatu. Jama muannas salim, right? The girls came. Is it marfu? Yes. How do you know? Dhammatun zahira. Here also is dhamma. Musanna. Wal walidani. Two boys came. Walidani. Two parents came. So marfu. But where's the dhamma? You look at this kasra and get confused. No. Alif. Alif is the sign of being. Alamatul raf is alif. Wal aqrabuna, and relatives also came. Aqrabun, aqarib, close people. Jama muzakkar salim, this is. So where's you, this fatha, mansub? No, it's not mansub, boss. You have to see the wow. Right? Wow is this sign of alamatul raf. Al mamnu' min as-sarf, diptot, Ibrahimu, dhamma. Al asmaul khamsa, what is who? You see the dhamma? No, al wow. So these are all the secondary endings, eh? You see? Alif, wow. This is dhamma again. Akhu. Then mansub, I saw. Ra'aytul abna. What is the sign of being mansub? Fatha. You can see the fatha, right? I saw the boys. Well, banati. This is the problem. Why not banata? Because it never takes fatha. So it is kasra. Right? Kasra, secondary ending. So mansub with kasra always. So muslimatun, muslimatin, muslimatin, same. Never takes fatha. Jama muannas salim never takes fatha. Wal walidaini. Here, where is the sign of being mansub? Ya, the ya. Ani, aini. Wal aqrabina. Where Jama muzakkar salim, al ya again. So alamatun nasb is ya here. Here also it's ya. Ibrahima, mansub with a fatha. This is fine because diptors take mansub. Right? Akhahu. You might get confused. Why akhu? Akhahu. Oh, alif is a sign of being mansub. Alif is a sign of being mansub. Sallam to ala. I said salam on. I said salam to them. Al abnai. Al abnai. So this is kasra. Sign of being majrur. Majrur is kasra. Wal banati. Again kasra. This is fine. Yeah. This is kasra. Wal walidaini. Here the kasra. No. The sign is ya. In duals we don't see the endings. We don't care about what known as. It's either alif or the ya. Similarly, here ina, fatha. No, the sign is ya. Al-yaw. Okay. Al-yaw, alamatul jar. Wa Ibrahima. You should get a kasra, but this is mamnu min as-sarf, so fatha. Right? Wa akhihi, again it is ya. Secondary ending. So all these five he gives, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 things get secondary endings. 2 plurals, 1 dual, 1 diptotes, and 1 asmaul khamsa. Okay, I hope it is clear, inshallah, the endings. Not difficult here. And this is atun, this you can remember like atun, atin, atin. This is ani, aini, aini. This is una, ina, ina. This is again Ibrahima, 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 or u, a, a. This is by waw alif ya. Asmaul khamsa is like waw alif ya. And then al-i'rab al-taqdiri, estimated. These are only 3, right? Manqus, maqsur, and ya mutakallim. In 3 it happens. So he gives an example. Marfu. This is mudaf ila ya mutakallim. Manqus and maqsoor. Right? Manqus and maqsoor. Manqus is what? With a ya lazima, and maqsoor is alif lazima. Ja'a sadiqi. So you might say, where is it marfu? My friend came. So dammatun muqaddara, estimated. Al muhami, the lawyer came. So where is it marfu? Dammatun muqaddara, estimated. Al mustafa, alif maqsura, right? Maqsur, dammatun muqaddara, estimate. Mansub, here it shows only in one case. It's all muqaddara. Ra'aytu sadiqi, I saw my friend. Fathatun muqaddara, mansub, right? Fathatun, estimate fatha. Al muhamiya, here it shows. This is the only thing different from mabni. Or else we could have called it mabni and closed it, right? I mean, we could have, but it takes alif lam, so it's not mabni. Right? How could you give alif? It's a noun, proper mu'arab, but it's called muqaddara, right? It's called so it is fathatun zahira. We can see the fatha only in one case. Rest all it's all muqaddar. Al Mustafa again fathatun muqaddara. Ala majrur. Sallamtu ala. I said salam on them. Sadiqi kasatun muqaddar. Al Muhami kasatun muqaddar. Mustafa kasatun. And this is all the types of this thing. Right? He gives it in one long sentence. All these things. Al-alamatul asliya wal fariya wal zahira wal muqaddara. Right? Primary, secondary, the zahira and muqaddara. So you can say the alamat are either primary. So you can say basically the alamat is either zahira or muqaddara. Right? That's what you can say. Either we can see them, and either they are hidden. They are estimated. Right? In zahira, you can say asliya and faraya. Asliya is fatha dhamma kasra, or you can say it is others, depending on other cases. So, so the alamat of marfu is what? Either it is apparent, you can see something at least, either it is hidden, muqaddara. Muqaddara is like totally hidden. Zahira again, you have the primary endings and the secondary endings. You can see something, but it's not primary, it is something else, secondary. Ani, aini, aini, una, whatever. So he gives them a whole sentence. Okay, help me with the sentence. We'll look at each word because this is what will we have exercise. We'll do the exercise next class, right? Because he gives us a huge practice. It's a good practice for us. These things, right? He gives then he gives this is a long lesson. We might take 5 classes or 6 classes, or maybe 4 or 5, depends on the first lesson, right? So let's stop at each word, and you tell me what's the sign of being marfu or mansub or majrur, right? First one, hadar al abna'u. What is the sign of being marfu? Damma, correct. Dammatun zahira. Khalas, correct. Wal banatu. What's the sign of being marfu? Again, damma. Yeah, fine. Yeah, again, damma. It's easy. Tell me this one. Wal walidani. Dammatun zahira. Correct. Walidani. Walidani. Alif, correct. Wal aqrabuna. Wow. Correct, mashallah. Some person might catch you and say, why alif and wow? What will you say? Where is the dhamma? I want to see the dhamma. Why is there alif and wow? Someone will come and tell you, it's Jama. Yeah, Jama Muzakkar Salim. Fine, it is. So what if it is Jama Muzakkar Salim? What happens if Jama Muzakkar Salim comes? Why cannot not be Al Aqrabunu? Okay. Then we should say that, okay, Jama Muzakkar Salim, boss, it doesn't take primary ending, it takes secondary endings, right? Yeah, the endings are like that. Fine. It should have actually been Aqrabunu. Okay. Ibrahimu is again Dhamma. What is Akhuhu? Akhuhu. What's the sign of being marfu? Dhamma. Akhuhu Dhamma. La. In Ibrahimu maybe, not in Akhuhu. Akhuhu, the wow, correct. The wow, mashallah, yeah. And the wow. Okay. Not the damir. No, no, not the damir. All right. The wow. لأنه من الأسماء الخمسة, because it is from the أسماء الخمسة. It is علامة الفرعية. Wow. This is important now. Sadiqi, my friend came. My friend attended what? Yeah. Yeah is the sign of being marfu. I'm asking sign of being. If someone asks you Sadiqi, it's marfu, prove it. So you'd say what? What is the sign of being marfu? It's not ya. Ya is like ya mutakallim. Kasra, no, kasra is not. How can kasra be for this marfu sign? Anyone? Muqaddara, correct. Assume dhamma, right? You imagine the dhamma. Okay, you don't see in ya mutakallim, never. If something say baiti, 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 you never see it. Okay, it is muqaddara, dammatun muqaddara. Same thing for muhami. What is the sign of being marfu? Why do you say sadiqi? You say mana min zuhuriya harakatun munasiba. You say the whole thing, or you can say ya mutakallim came. Khalas. لأنه مضاف إلى يا متكلم. المحامي. What is the sign of being marfu? Same muqaddara. Correct. Muhami is also same muqaddara. Right? Why is it muqaddara? You say it is manqus. It is ya lazima came at the ending. Same Mustafa. What is the sign of being marfu? Muqaddara, dammatun muqaddara. This is the most confusing part. You can understand secondary endings fine, but muqaddara, what is this talking about, right? Muqaddara is like confusing, right? Okay, don't worry, inshallah. Because it's assumed and you need to assume and you need to have an imagination to imagine. Now, Al Mansub. Again, I'll do that maybe. Here that is Fatha. Da'utu, I called the sons. Fatha. What is Banati? What is the sign of being Marfu? Mansub, sorry. Sign of being Mansub. Fatha, Banati. Where's the Fatha? Alif? Alif? Banati is the Alif? No, no, no. No. It's Jamma Muannas Salim. We don't care about the Alif. No. And only in duals we care about the Alif. Huh? No, no. Anyone else? It's not the Alif. No, never. No. Banati. See the ending. What we can see here, that's the ending. What's the ending there? Banati? Kasra. Yes. Always remember Jam Muannas Salim takes kasra for mansub. خلق الله السماوات والأرض. So you might get confused. Why is samawati coming here and arda coming here? Are they two separate cases? No, both are same. It's just that samawati is Jamma Muannas Salim, so it becomes mansub with a kasra. And you might look for like samawati. You might think it's majru, and you might look where there's no preposition, there's no mudaf mudaf ilayhi. How is it happening? So you should know that the kasra is a sign for this thing. Okay. Now mansub and majrur for both cannot be alif. Now walidaini. That's why I'm going through. Right? Inshallah, it's okay. Huh? Don't worry. I'm sorry. Okay. Now walidaini. The ya, correct. Not the noon. You don't look at the kasra. Mansub bil ya. Aini ayni with the ya. Wal aqrabina. What's the sign of being mansub? Mansub. Yeah, again, correct. For duals and for Jama Muzakkar Salim, it is yeah. For Mansub and Majrur, it is the same. Ibrahima, Mansub, what's the sign? Fathatun Zahira. We can see the fatha, yeah. Akhahu, Alif, yes. Now it is Alif. Yeah. Duals and this, it is Mansub. Yeah, I forgot about this. Duals and this, we see the Alif, correct. Okay. Not the who, huh? You can don't look at the Damir. Now, tell me this. This is important again. Muqaddara is important because it's confusing imagination. Sadiqi, what's the sign of being Mansub? Muqaddara, correct. Fathatun Muqaddara. Naam. Al Muhamiya. Fathatun Zahira. We see the Fatha, correct. Only in this case, we see the Fatha, right? Okay. Alhamdulillah. Mustafa. Mustafa. Estimated again, yes. Okay, in Alif Maqsuda, always estimated. Yes, Muqaddara again. Yes, Naam. Okay, same thing here. Ittasaltu, I contacted Abna'i, Zahira, Banati, Zahira. Here, Ya, Alamatu Jarri, Ya, again, Ya, Ibrahima, here, diptote, Fathatun Zahira, لأنه ممنوع من الصرف, because it's ممنوع من الصرف. Akhihi, here, what's the sign of being majrur? Yeah, many people get confused with this. They say my brother and his brother because akhi means my brother, right? So they say mine and his. No, that ya is not for my brother. It's not ya mutakallim. It is ya lazima, right? It is ya of not lazima also. It is ya of Arab. Okay, it takes a ya because it is majrur. Because akhi you might see, oh my brother and his, or my brother and him. Something they translated, right? Akhi is not my brother. No, it is his brother. Sadiqi, yeah, again, these three, please help me out with this. Sadiqi, Muhami, and Mustafa. Only one answer for all these three, Majrur, and it is estimated, yes, Muqaddara. All the story which we had till now, all this is summarized in these three sentences, right? I hope it is somewhat clearer now, inshallah. Naam. And we'll have more clarity. Alhamdulillah, it's better. Now, what we can do is open up the Quran, take any word, ism, take any ism, find out why it has a dhamma, why it has a kasra, and why it has a fatha. Try to identify the case, any word in the Quran. Right? You take the Quran, you open it up, and say, for example, ism, huh? Like I am taking yet 90% of the time what will happen, you'll see a dhamma, because Monna Salim, duals, plurals also, okay, mamnu min asarf and asmaul khamsa or muqaddara are very rare. You won't see 90% of the time you'll see a dhamma, right? Like rusulihim. So rusulihim, it is li rusulihim. So it is majrur with a kasra, fatasun zahira. Do I have any maqsoor here? قالت لهم رسولهم إن نحن إلا بشر مثلكم. I see all dhamma على من يشاء من عباده وما كان لنا أن نأتيكم. Okay, this is a verb anyway. This sultan. I don't see any maqsoor or muqaddara. Everything is so zahir. Alhamdulillah. 90% you'll see all zahira. All these things are for the exceptions. Okay. وقال الذين كفر الذين is mabni. كفروا لرسلهم لنخرجنكم من أرضنا أو لتعود. I don't see any مقدر. فأوحى إليهم ربهم. You can see anything like that. لنهلكن الظالمين. Okay, الأرض من بعدهم. You see samawati sometimes. samawati جهنم ويسقى من ماء. جهنم جهنم كيف جهنم is what is feminine, yeah, so it is mamnu min as-sarf. جهنم. So here, but we see because not majrur here, so all these things is just for the exception. Okay, you can see any ism and try to find out what is the Arab of that. Okay, it'll be easier, inshallah. Open up the Quran, any surah which you know. Alam tara kaifa fa'ala rabbuka. Alam tara, nothing is in it. Kaifa is mabni because it's like that. Fa'ala is fail madi anywhere, it's mabni. Forget about verbs as of now. Rabbuka, why is it marfu? Fa'ala rabbuka, fa'il, okay. Alam tara kaifa fa'ala rabbuka bi ashabil fil. B came because that's why ashabi. Al fili, because ashabil fil mudaf mudaf ilayh. Alam yaj'al lahum. Jahannam is feminine, yes. Muannas sama'i, like Shams. You just heard it. Right? Jahannam. Okay, alhamdulillah. Rabbil alameen. We'll do the tamarin inshallah next class. So all the asma should be like summarized in your brain. Right? All the nouns, like endings should be clear, right? Where it is primary, where it is secondary, where it is estimated, and where it is mabni also. He gave a whole list of mabni, if you remember. Right? And inshallah we'll try to do this also, uh, exercises, and then we'll go to al marfuat. It gives a whole list of all marfuat in the noun. All marfuat. So there are like 6 marfuat: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Some say 8. Some say 8 because, but he gives 6 of them because ismuma hijaziya he leaves them. And then there are 11 mansubat. 11 mansubat. All the names of Jahannam also feminine. Yeah, I don't know about that. Is it? Allahu Alam. And there are 2 majrurat. So 11 plus 2 is 13. 13 plus, oh, naam. 13 plus 6 is what? 19. 19. There are 3 other marfuat. So 11. There should be 12 mansub. Okay, he drops 1. So 12 plus 8, 20 plus 2. 22 places of any noun. Inshallah. So anytime you see a noun, it has to be in either of those 22 places. But he teaches us only 19 here because they're ma hijazia and so on, la hijazia, la. It's rare, so he doesn't teach us, and will not learn. Also, will not go. There are 22 places of a noun. Like it could be file, it could be mubtada, it could be khabar, it could be marfuat, could be like 6 or 7. Like we'll go into all of that those inshallah taala, and that's it. Right, Jazakallahu Khairan. So this lesson gives you a whole big picture of all the nouns, of all the verbs also. Like verbs also, fail madi, fail amr is mabni. No tension about those at all. Only mudare is the problem. And in the mudare, then the sign of being marfu, it's very little, inshallah. So he goes into, let me just show you what he teaches. There are exercises about all this, give the Arab and so on. Then he brings all the 22 places. We'll just read them and not go into so much detail about it because he brings it in those places in their respective lessons. Then we have the tawabi'. The tawabi' are the copycats. Right? There are 4 tawabi'. The nats, tawqid, al-atf and badal. We'll learn about all these things, inshallah. Badal, the copycats. Like you might say, nat, why is it marfu? Because it's copying the previous letter, previous word. Copycats, tawabi'. Right? These are the copycats. And this he gives in the verbs also. In verbs also, again he goes into asliya, faraiya of the verbs, because in the naqis, you yasa, you might like, where's the sign of being marfu? You say muqaddara again, right? Al fail al naqis. This is what. Then i'rab al taqdiri, all this, and then you have exercises for verbs also, and then we are done. Points to remember. He teaches all this thing, right? That's it. That's it. So we might take 2 or 3 more classes because tawabe, man. Okay, so where were we? We were here. Exercises. Naam, jazakallahu khairan. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. See you next week, inshallah. with this thing, inshallah. إن شاء الله تعالى جزاك الله خيرا سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.